Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. It's the 19th of April 2022, and I'm going to be very upbeat today because if it's not possible for us to have a upward market and the market is going to keep on pummeling us, we might as well enjoy it because there's nothing we can do about it. The market has its own mind. So let's examine everything that's going to happen today in our usual format. The first part being geopolitical activities, news, and any CRISPR news that we have which can impact the market today. The second part is basically going to be our technical analysis on Nasdaq, gold, cryptocurrency, you name it. We put it all together there and try to get some kind of an idea of what is going to happen today. And then we'll go and look at our genomic shares. And I hope it's not as depressing as it was yesterday with a sea of red. But by the looks of it, given that the Nasdaq futures are looking red right now, I can't guarantee that. With that, let's go ahead and get started. So my title today is Greed or Inevitable Doom. And the reason I'm saying that is because the very first headline that I saw today this morning was that there has been a ruling by a federal judge in Florida that the mask mandates on planes and public transit should go. So the airlines are very happy. Of course, the airline stockholders, also the day traders, are going to be very happy because they can run up the price on the airline stock and dump it, knowing fully well that there'll be another round of COVID coming around the block and the prices are going to fall down again. So this seems to be probably a precursor for another wave of COVID. But not a very happy situation from an investor perspective, because if we had been just patient and continue wearing masks, it's not a big imposition. A lot of people in the hospitality industries have lost their jobs and have had terrible times. We have had supply chain blockades, everything, and we are suffering through it. I mean, just wearing masks for the sake of it, maybe for another 1 month or so, should not be such a big pain. But anyway, so having said that, the World Bank cuts its annual global growth forecast for 2022 from 4.1 to 3.2%. And given what we are doing with our public transit and mask mandates, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of months down the line, World Bank comes back and revises it downwards by another percentage point. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm really, really pissed off with what has happened this morning. I'm trying my best to be upbeat. And let us see. Climate change is also in place. We had snowfall in Toronto, and I still have snow outside on the ground, almost close to 1 inch of snow, partly melted, partly it's still there. This is not what we see out here. Same thing seems to happen in Pennsylvania and New York. I don't know about their climate. We are well into spring, and we shouldn't be having snowfalls. We can have rains. So that's not good. J&J lowers 2022 outlook by 1%, increases quarterly dividend by 6.6%. This doesn't do much for us in the pharmacy and the biotech sector, because J&J was supposed to give us a boost, and that boost didn't happen. So I don't think this is anything good for us. Russia-Ukraine conflict intensifies on the Eastern Front. Things are getting worse on that side. The United Nations seems to be an absolutely useless body. It is not able to provide any kind of leadership, and the Security Council has become a big logjam because one of those five can always veto anything the others say. It's becoming a multipolar world, and it's not good for globalization. It's not good for productivity. And also we now have talk about hypersonic missiles and satellite destroying systems. So we are just using all our science and technology to destroy each other's. I don't think the scientists who are making all this technological progress are able to have their rational voices heard. It's just the politicians with their shallow and short-term objectives who are calling the shots, and that's why we are where we are. We just need good citizens to vote proper politicians across the globe and get things back in order. I think it's a long time overdue. And for us as investors, we are going through a really tough time for the next 12 months, in my opinion. Because of all these factors which are so intransigent, they don't seem to give way. The COVID crisis is still continuing. I don't see how we are going to get control over it. After the fourth COVID vaccine, people are going to say that the pharma and biotech industry is trying to make money off us and we don't want any more vaccines. That's going to make things even worse. So that's where we are going. And also, you look at the World Bank cutting annual growth. I recently saw another statistics from IMF. There are around 42 countries which are in a high risk of defaulting on their debts. And it's not looking pretty. And we have Sri Lanka also among them, which is almost in the verge of defaulting on its debts. We have Russia, which is in a self-imposed situation where even though it has got money, it still has to default on its debts. Things are not looking great overall. And in the midst of this, if I see any green, I'm not believing it. So I'm still holding my money on the sidelines. And I'm going to go through all our analysis because we need to do that in order to see if there are any hopes to be seen. But in the background, all these factors are still dragging us down. Unless we have some upbeat results from Tesla, I don't see anything kind of pushing this market up today. Maybe Netflix will come up with some good results, but it doesn't have the power to move the entire market. So let's hope for the best. And I'm sorry I'm giving you pessimistic notes. I've been consciously trying to be optimistic, but it just doesn't seem to come. Okay, let's go and look at our indicators and draw some conclusions there. Okay, so it's around 9:25 a.m. and the market has not yet opened. So let's get started with the crypto and gold analysis, and then we'll go on to Nasdaq and all the indices. So if I look at Bitcoin, it seems that Bitcoin has done better than we expected. Yesterday, we had gone, the last time we did the analysis, we had gone below this diagonal line of support, but it seems the line of support held up because Bitcoin bounced back sharply, and it came with a hammer kind of formation out here. And today we have opened higher than where we closed yesterday, and we have been going up higher since then. So we have a gain of around 0.82% on Bitcoin, and we are at 41,004 right now. Our MACD is bearish but tending towards the signal line, and momentum is picking up but below average. So it seems to me that this diagonal line of support is going to be holding up strongly for us, and it's going to show us a gentle growth in the price of Bitcoin. So I'm going to extend this across a little bit more and leave it there so that we can use it as a guide for us going forward. So with this projection, I think that we'll be at a price of around 43,000 somewhere on 29th of June 2022. So that's the slow upward movement that we have here. It's a bullish trend, and it's going rather slowly, and which is good enough because it's more predictable and consistent and sustainable. Now I'm going to draw this upper line out here connecting all the higher highs so that we have another channel out here that will be the upper bound for the bull channel, and we are going to be moving in between these two, and this can be used for some kind of swing trading because this pattern seems to be much more stable. We have seen it happening on and on. So let us look forward to the next resistance of 41,350 being broken. And once it is broken, then we'll still be on our upward journey. There has been an instance where we have a couple of instances where we have dropped down without hitting the upper bounds. But still, if we cross this resistance, we can be assured that we are going to get into this zone between 43,000 and 45,000. So if one has to do some kind of a swing trading, they could buy at this stage and wait for maybe another 15 or 20 days and then take the profits. So that's a possibility there. Again, these are my opinions and not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before making any investments. And now let us look at gold. Gold has dropped very smartly after rallying yesterday and crossing over the resistance of 1984, which was then a support. And now it's going to become a resistance back again. So I'm going to mark it red. And we have a strong consolidation and a floor out here at somewhere around 1916.58, and we seems to be oscillating now between that line out there and 1984, which is the resistance above. Let us wait and see whether this continues to be the same pattern that we will see on an ongoing basis. For that matter, I'm going to just pull this out and put this line out here so that we can have some kind of a visual reference for this. Now let's go on to look at our indicators. So let's look at futures first. It is 9:28 and the futures are pretty negative right now. It's minus 0.25%. In the past, I have seen we have futures which are negative, but still after market open within half an hour, we turn around. So there is still that possibility, but the opening of the track is right away bearish. Now let's go to the indicators and look at our wicks. So when I look at wicks out here, this green candle is the candle for today, 19th of April, and it's being supported by the 9-day exponential moving average and constrained by the 20-day exponential moving average. 20-day exponential moving average is sitting at 22.75, and we have a bullish MACD which is tending towards the signal line, and we have momentum that is picking up. Even though it's below average, it's poised to go above average. So that's a good chance that VIX is going to spurt today. And let us have a quick look at US oil, and let me check. This candle is not for today, so we do not have a live feed for US oil right now. For some reason, even though the market is open, there is no action out there. Let me see if there is any news article. Oil slips on weak China demand. This was 19 minutes ago. Even as Libyan protest, etc. US residential heating oil propane prices ended winter season higher than previous season. Concerns over tight supply intensify, but China woes temper demand. Oil prices move higher as supply backdrop continues to deteriorate. Crude oil prices rise on Libya disruptions. This is contrary to what we just read from a news article 19 minutes ago. So basically the oil is in flux right now, and we do not know which direction it's likely to go. Last seen it was down minus 0.52%. We don't know what's going to happen today. We'll have to wait and watch and see the direction. If we look at the 2-year yields, they are going up. Whenever the 2-year yield goes up, that means Nasdaq is going to be under strain. Risk on assets are going to be beaten. So today doesn't seem to be good for Nasdaq or for Genomic shares. Now, if I look at QQQ, if I look at the QQQ pre-market, it's the market is already open. It's 9:30. We are up. We are down minus 0.25%. We'll come back to this in another few minutes to see what is happening out here. Let's look at put call ratio. It's at 1.00, so we are definitely in bearish territory. Whatever residual bullishness was there is gone. If I look at S&P 500, we can see that we are still within the diagonal line of resistance that we had drawn before. Remember, all these candles are one-day candles. So we are today going to try and see if we can break out of this. Given that we are on an upward moving trend, and this is a bullish pennant, I am sure that if we come to challenge this diagonal line, we are going to break through over that. But when I look at the MACD, it is bearish and moving toward the signal line, and momentum is flat. So those are the two factors that make me feel that we may probably not be able to break out today above this diagonal. I don't know if we'll remain positive for the day. It all depends on the results that come from Tesla and a few other notable companies which will report this week. And again, Netflix is likely to report today. We have to see what happens with the Netflix report and any banking and airlines that will be reporting today. Those will determine temporary bullishness, and maybe we could take advantage of that. Now, having said that, let's move off and look at our biotech shares. Let's go on to the genomics right now, and here we are. So on the very top, we have IMTX, Allogene, DNA, Beam, Teladoc, and Caribou Biosciences. When you look at IBB, which is the ETF that we are using to track what's happening overall in the biotech and pharma sector, we can see that it's slightly negative, minus 0.10% below. And it's under this diagonal line, which had been a resistance for the longest time, and then briefly a support. And now I'm going to turn that into a resistance. And our MACD is absolutely bearish, moving away from the signal line. Momentum is also falling and below average. So this is consistent with the 2-year yields going up and risk on assets coming down. I think that's the general trend for today. All the greens that we are seeing, we might as well enjoy it for now, unless we have some spectacular results coming in today, earnings coming in today. I think we are destined for a red day again. Now let's go and quickly look at IMTX, which is up 1.87%, still has resistance at 8.80. MACD again turning bearish. and momentum is above average and picking up. So there is a little hope for IMTX to stay flat today. Allogene is up 1.39%. MACD is bearish and momentum is below average and trying to pick up. So there's a good chance that Allogene may also end the day flat. DNA is up 1.65%, constrained by the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average. MACD is bullish but moving towards the signal line, but momentum is dropping. Again, DNA is likely to be flat or negative. Beam is up 0.41%, and it is dipping below this diagonal line of support that we have had for the longest time. So hopefully it gets pushed up and comes out. Unfortunately, the MACD and the momentum tell a very pessimistic story. So I think that we are going to break below this diagonal line and make that into a resistance for the following day. Teladoc is up 0.73%, and we are still firmly within this bearish channel, and our next support is at 54.58. And when I look at the MACD, it is bullish and moving away from the signal line. Momentum is also below average. Teladoc is likely to lose some of the gains that it has had here, probably end up marginally positive or negative. Of course, there will be a slight bullish bias if we have some good earnings report, but otherwise we are in a bearish kind of a situation today, and we are likely to end up flat or slightly negative for Teladoc. Caribou Biosciences is up 0.13%, and that's a very, very little cushion out there. Our MACD is bearish, and our momentum is also below average. So I think that Caribou Biosciences is going to end up flat or negative. IBB is definitely going to end up negative. We have already talked about it. Vertex is down -0.32, marginally down, still has support from the 9-day exponential moving average. A very, very good consolidation out here. And also if I look at this pattern as a pennant, where we have one of this here and we have one of this here. So we can see that it's forming a pennant. So if it does break out, it's going to break out upwards, and we still have the support from this bullish channel. So overall, it's good for Vertex. It can afford to lose a little more today. Nothing to worry about here. ARCG is down -0.64%. It is within the bearish downwards channel. 9-day and 20-day exponential moving average providing resistance. And MACD is absolutely bearish, and momentum is also below average and flat. ARCG likely to lose more today. Regeneron is down -0.21%, just hitting this line of support and consolidating. Again, it's a pennant being formed on a rising price trend, so pretty happy about it. So there is a good chance that we'll break out, but I'm happy that we are consolidating, because this bullish line of support is too steep for my liking. It's difficult to sustain it. So any consolidation is welcome. Nothing to worry about in Regeneron. So let's go on to Illumina. Illumina is down -0.48%, and we have support which is at around 330.25, and we have resistance from 9-day, 20-day, and 9-day, 20-day, and 50-day exponential moving average. And our MACD is absolutely bearish. Momentum is also falling. Illumina is likely to lose more today before the close. Bluebird is down -0.72%. Again, all four exponential moving averages are the resistance. And we have got a MACD which is below the signal line, and it's bearish. Momentum is below average and flat. Bluebird is likely to lose more today. Intelia is down -1.54%, and it's gone below this line of support, which is at 56.47. I'm going to mark this as a resistance going forward. Just going to magnify this to show you what it looks like. We have the small candle out here. MACD is absolutely bearish, and momentum is below average and very low. Intelia to lose more today. Novartis is down 1%, and we are still within this triangle, which I think is a bullish pennant, because it's on a ascending price trend, and we are very close to the upper bounds, and we have been pushed back from there. And today's candle is out here. This is today's candle. This red line out here is today's candle. It's being constrained by the 9-day exponential moving average. That is the first sign of weakness that I don't like. We need not have come below the 9-day exponential moving average. That shows good weakness, and we are falling in momentum and heading towards the average. And the MACD, though bullish, is heading towards the signal line. So Novartis is likely to lose more today, and we are seeing signs of weakness. Hopefully we are able to bounce back from the average level in the RSI. Next, we look at CRISPR. CRISPR Therapeutics is down 1.05%. Our next support is at 53.44. Our next resistance is at 66.36. We are constrained by the 9-day, 20-day, and the 50-day exponential moving average. And on top of it, we have a MACD which is absolutely bearish and momentum which is below average and falling. CRISPR Therapeutics is likely to lose more today before closing, maybe in the tune of $1.25. PSEB is down 1%, and that's around 8 cents. And we are looking at 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average providing strong resistance. And our MACD is absolutely bearish, moving away from the signal line. Momentum is also below average. So PSEB is likely to lose a little more today. And once we touch the bottom, there is a good chance that we may get a bounce back as a dead cat bounce, because PSEB would have sold off so much. It will be in the oversold territory and more attractive to buy as the risk reward calculation gets skewed more towards the reward side than the risk side. PFE is down 2.06%. We have already broken down below this bullish channel. So now I'm going to mark this channel as a resistance. This is one approach I can take. The other approach I can take is I can moderate this a little bit and bring it out here, provided that I can have 3 touch points, and I can get 3 touch points here. One is here, the other one is here, and then this is the third one. So I'm going to adjust this as a new bull bottom. If we break below this, then we have a support at 49.83, and our MACD is absolutely bearish, and momentum is also below average and falling. So Pfizer is likely to lose a little more today, and probably it will stop at this diagonal line of support and continue to retain that as a support. Editas is down minus 0.42 cents, and that's around minus 2.67%. And we are straddling the support at 15.29, which is this horizontal line out here, 15.37. We are right now at 15.29. We're just fallen slightly below it. Our MACD is absolutely bearish. Momentum is also falling. So I think before the end of the day, we are going to convert this 15.37 horizontal support into a resistance. We already have converted the 15.37 line into a resistance. So things are not looking great for Editas. With that, I come to the end of my session out here. I suspect that by the end of the day, all of our stocks in the watch list are going to be red. I think I'm going to stay away from my trading desk today. Just go and watch a nice movie on the television, and maybe cook up something nice, a dessert or something that I can enjoy and eat. Don't expect much from the day today. Eagerly waiting for Netflix and Tesla results. Those could really provide us some positives. So with that, I'd like to end the session here. Please, if you like this video, put a like out there, because that can help YouTube show this video to other people and more people to discover our channel. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe and push us over the 400 number, where we have been stuck for the last 2 days, and help the channel grow. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.